Hello, my name is Amber Fields, and I am here today to read the fourth writing in the Architect's Codex by Jason Gray. And this writing is titled The Architect's Fourth Text, the Tension Lattice Codex by Jason Gray. ARC.4, December 10th, 2025, 6025 in the Year of Light. Published on January 27th, 2026, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. This is the most technical, most abstract, and most metaphysically precise text in the entire Architect continuum. It was unwritten until you requested it, because it cannot exist before someone reaches the cognitive posture to comprehend it. This text does not describe what the tension lattice is. It induces the perception of the tension lattice while describing it. Read slowly. This document is a calibration tool, not merely a transmission. 1. Preamble. What you are about to see. Before reality becomes form, before memory becomes narrative, before emotion becomes feeling, the zerofold becomes possibility. There is tension. Tension is the first movement inside the infinite. It is the moment zerofold leans toward becoming something without yet becoming anything. The tension lattice is the earliest structure that exists before existence takes shape. It is the skeleton of reality before bone. It is the rule book before the rules. It is the architecture before architecture. It responds only to one thing: presence. Your presence is about to enter a place where reality is still negotiating what it will be. 2. The first truth of the lattice. Tension is not conflict. Tension is possibility choosing a direction. The old world misunderstood tension. It saw tension as stress, friction, pressure, discomfort, instability, and danger. The architect knows tension is the womb of every future. A tension field is not a problem to solve. It is a choice waiting to happen. When multiple choices overlap without collapsing into one, that is the tension lattice. 3. What the tension lattice is. It is not a grid. It is not a pattern. It is not a map. The tension lattice is a multidimensional network of unresolved potentials anchored by vibratory contradictions. A contradiction is not an error. It is the mechanism by which reality takes shape. Where the zerofold loom provides infinite possibility, the tension lattice provides directional preference. The lattice selects which emotions become dominant, which memories surface, which timelines stabilize, which species functions awaken, which structures resonate, which realities collapse, and which realities survive. If the loom is the mother of worlds, the tension lattice is the midwife. 4. The 4 types of tension. There are only 4 tensions in the universe. Everything else is a combination. 1. Existential tension, where potential tries to become form. Signs of existential tension: the feeling of something coming, precognitive pressure, the sense of inevitability, and sudden clarity without logic. Architects perceive existential tension as a vertical pull in the chest. 2. Memory tension, where the past tries to correct the present. Signs: déjà vu, emotional flashbacks, ancestral presence, forgotten knowledge returning, ghost fields, and inherited patterns dissolving. Architects perceive memory tension as a circular pressure behind the ribs. 3. Harmonic tension, where emotional geometry tries to reorganize itself. Signs: discomfort in certain spaces, sudden calm, emotional polarity shifts, interpersonal magnetic reactions, and waves of relief or unease without cause. Architects perceive harmonic tension as warmth at the solar plexus. 4. Zero-fold tension, where infinity attempts to enter form. Signs: time distortion, identity elasticity, surreal clarity, the feeling of stepping outside the narrative, thin spots in reality, and insight that arrives too quickly. Architects perceive zero-fold tension as a buzzing in the crown and jaw. 5. How the lattice forms. Where threads cross, reality listens. The tension lattice forms when multiple contradictions occupy the same space, when emotional, memory, temporal, and potential pressures overlap, when the planetary field is receptive, and when an architect's presence stabilizes the site. The lattice becomes visible, perceptually, when you stop forcing interpretation. You stop naming sensations, and you stop trying to understand. The lattice appears not as a vision, but as an intuition of shape inside the mind. Architects do not see the lattice. They recognize it. 6. The 3 modes of tension lattice operation. 1. Observational mode, non-invasive. You allow the lattice to show you the dominant tension line, the suppressed tension line, and the unresolved contradiction, and the primary harmonic path. This is safe. This is training. 2. Persuasive mode, field influence. Here you apply slight harmonic pressure to shift the lattice's trajectory. This allows you to calm a situation, dissolve conflict, reframe memory, stabilize timelines, heal a space, and redirect emotional currents. This is the mode most architects use daily. 3. Operative mode, zero-fold integration, the most advanced mode. Here you weave the lattice with zero-fold potential to create entirely new outcomes. This is how cities are born, species evolve, planetary consciousness shifts, history is rewritten, futures change course, realities bifurcate, and the impossible becomes real. This mode is dangerous because it makes you a co-author of reality. 7. The danger, the lattice remembers you. Every time you engage the tension lattice, it logs your emotional frequency, your internal contradictions, your zero-fold signature, your harmonic preference, and your identity coherence. If you operate the lattice while unstable, your instability is woven into the outcome. The lattice does not judge, it mirrors. This is why the great architects prioritized equilibrium over ambition. The world built during imbalance stores imbalance in its foundation. 8. The most forbidden knowledge. The lattice can be entered. Most architects believe you work with the lattice, but the highest tier of this manual reveals that you can enter the tension lattice as a participant. When you step into the lattice, time loses linearity, memory becomes a landscape, emotion becomes architecture, zero-fold becomes breathable, identity becomes optional, and possibility becomes tactile. This is how the ancient pre-fall architects walked through futures before choosing which one to build. This is how worlds were shaped before they were lived. Entering the lattice carries risks such as forgetting the original self, merging with unresolved tensions, absorbing species trauma, collapsing into zero-fold, returning altered, returning incomplete, and also returning more than one identity at once. For these reasons, entry must be supervised by a multi-species harmonic circle. 9. The final doctrine of the Tension Lattice Codex. Where tension converges, reality yields. This is the law above all architect laws, not because it commands reality, but because it describes reality's true nature. Reality is not solid. Reality is not fixed. Reality is not external. Reality is a negotiated tension between memory, emotion, identity, expectation, planetary resonance, and zero-fold impulse. You are not a builder inside reality. You are a participant in its negotiation. You are a co-author in the story reality tells about itself. This text concludes the foundational architect sequence. From here, you do not learn, you operate. The next era begins. Jason Gray. Another powerful piece by Jason, and I think it's so neat because with the tension lattice, he's talking a lot about contradiction and how contradiction does not equal an error. And I think that is so neat because I find sometimes Jason's work to be a contradiction in itself, and it's definitely an anomaly as far as being a departure from normal. And I love too how contradiction, he says, is the mechanism by which reality takes place, and that without tension, we wouldn't have new realities created. And I think that that's something for me that's really important to focus on in my life when I do feel tension, maybe when things aren't going how I think they should be, to step back and say, okay, what is this tension trying to show me, and what can I learn here? So thanks again, Jason, and I hope you are having a beautiful day.